Friday. There were some things that happened Friday while I was gone. Todd Father wasn't there, and they need to be readdressed. Yes, readdressed. Two notes in particular. Let's start with the Derby. Todd Father, Derby's getting a little refresh. It's kind of like what's old is new. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I love when people come and ask me all the questions since I won it one time. I did it a couple. Listen, I don't know how it's going to be. I got to be honest with you, just because we've never done it before. Nobody understood and what was going to happen in 2015 when there was a time and everybody's like, oh man, this could be good. It could be quicker. It takes away from the guys taking 5-6 swings. It worked out to be fantastic. And then they modified it a little bit, cut down the time. It was exhausting. I mean, the only thing I would say was it was exhausting. But ultimately, since I won, I didn't really care. So I did a couple different ones. I had the one where we had 8 swings, and now, it's going to be the same ordeal, but with 20 swings. I think, I don't know. I just don't know. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. I want to see how it goes.
What do you mean you don't know? We've done this before, though. We did this. We switched to the timers for you. We had the swing off session. It's been a long time, but we used to do this.
Yeah, I know, but it's all so. I don't know. I want to see how the players react. I get it. I don't remember 20. I mean, there's never been 20, right?
No, it was outs. 10 outs.
It was outs. Right. So now we're doing swings.
That's what I mean.
This is more reverting to that format, right? Where there's no clock.
So now you can take a deep breath. You can take your time. Yeah, I think it's going to be longer in my opinion, but I still think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be great. I still think puts a little more pressure too on the guys as well, knowing this is you only have this amount of swings to do it. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm in between on it though, because I did like what we've been doing, but it does give an advantage to one guy over the other that gets an extra break. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
You can spit at pitches. That's more annoying for the audience if you have to keep waiting because you like to keep seeing guys go after baseballs. But the part that I think was lacking was too many baseballs flying around at a time, right? Where you're there in person. I thought was even tough. Man, they both were tough. You're watching on TV and you're like, oh, I can't keep up with this. When you're there, it's actually tough to keep up with when you're there too, because it's so fast. So slowing it down.
Announce.
Yeah, tough to announce for sure. So at least for me, I didn't get the comment yesterday. I'm like you, Todd Father, got to see what it looks like, but I'll take like a little bit of the slow it down to appreciate the dingers.
Yeah. And I tried looking this up. Nobody has been announced yet, right? Or has anybody been announced, Scott? Do you know?
Not yet. I don't think so. It's too early. Not yet. But soon.
I got a guy who I'd like to see in there.
Who?
That probably nobody's really talking about. I like to see Ben Rice get in that picture. I would love to see his lefty swing in Philadelphia. I think that would be fantastic for him. But ultimately, he's having a really great year. This is the good thing. Oh, well, do you have to be an all-star? No, but I still think he should be an all-star. Don't get me wrong. I think he's having a really good year. But does he want to? Everybody's like, oh, it's going to mess your swing up. I tell everybody, it doesn't mess your swing up. The last round of BP, everybody's trying to go deep and hit a home run the last 7 to 8 swings. So if you stop doing that, then maybe you have, you could talk about it. But yeah, I would love to see Ben Rice get in there. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Well, he should be an all-star, and he should get invited to the Derby. And if you want more on Derby talk, I mean, I'm with you 100%. Will he say yes? Yeah. I don't know. But
no, we don't know.
Yeah. If you want more on the Derby from yesterday, Kratz and AJ covered it. They also covered portions of the latest CBA proposal that really does affect the game. We're not going to go over money all day, every day, but there are specific rules that could be changing. Yesterday, they went over some things. Let's charge and I'll explain the rest. Charging the mound. Okay, so some of the keys that were covered in our other segment or video, if you're watching this afterward, were AJ and Kratz covering the high schoolers not able to get picked anymore if MLB's proposal went through. There were a number of changes. The international draft. I want to take on some things that weren't covered in the part one of what you guys went over, Kratz, because there's so much in this proposal, right? And you guys went over how they would cut significant bonus money for players. The age eligibility for international players would bump up. I want to get to at least two things here. One is actually great for the game if it gets executed. And one is, I think, a telltale sign of the difference between money and ethics in our sport. Stay tuned on that one. Let's start with this. Did you guys notice that draft picks were included in here for trades? Trading draft picks in the domestic draft. Picks could only be dealt for the next upcoming draft. 2028 draft selection could only be traded after the 2027 draft. In the proposed setup, teams can't deal away first-round picks in consecutive domestic drafts. They don't want teams just unloading all of their draft. But I'm just even like, wait, we've gotten to maybe we would trade draft picks, because I was told for years that one side didn't want that, even though all the fans want that. Teams that can't acquire more than 3 additional selections within the first 3 rounds of a given draft on top of their original picks in those rounds. And then one awful part of this was a proposal from MLB saying they'd like to cut the lottery picks from 6 to 4. So the lottery was put in there, pushed hard by the players, even though everyone should want that, because you don't want tanking. So if you're cutting it from 6 to 4, you're going the wrong direction in my mind. And then for the international draft, most picks could be traded, but the league says there will be certain limitations. So these are just proposals, Kratz, but for me, I just want to look at the big part. We now know on the table that trading draft picks is okay. It's not going to hurt our sport, right? MLB is saying it's okay, and they're putting it out there. Because for me, I don't care what either side wants. I care what we want. And what we want is to be able to talk about teams making more trades, and draft picks help that. No?
I don't agree. I don't agree. I think trading a draft pick is trading a lottery ticket. Like, hey, you know what? You have a lottery ticket. I have a lottery ticket. Now, if you scratch off the lottery ticket and you're like, whoa, that's a winner. Okay, I'll trade you with that one. You don't know. I think there's more. I think there's less intrigue in trading a lottery or trading a draft pick in baseball than in other sports.
So just to be clear, you don't want to trade draft picks?
No need to. No need to.
Strong disagree on that one.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just eyewash.
Yeah, but it helps to promote trades. Right now, you can trade your comp picks, right? Todd Father, like teams get compensation picks for like where they are in revenue sharing and all of that. I think if you want to try and put a limitation on it, we can talk about that. But being able to trade your pick, I think, should be the right of a team. And I think it would create more intrigue around the draft too, right? You could have the draft coming up, and then all of a sudden a team trades their first round pick for a big player, and it kind of sparks the trade deadline a little bit sooner too, because you have to make a call. No, you don't think any of that's cool?
I mean, you trade your first round pick. So what's the value of a first round pick to the analytical front offices would be my question. Is that fine? Yes, but I want my team to get somebody at least a little bit closer. Give me like if you have Mason Miller, that was a trade that just happened last year. Yeah, I get it. AJ Preller, they're in the playoffs. They're going to go ahead and trade their first round pick for Mason Miller. Okay, well, he's farther away than DeVries is. He's farther away than. To me, the draft in baseball is not the same as other sports. And so when teams, yes, they have that value, but that value is very like, I don't know. I don't know how somebody's going to pan out in the pick with that pick, no matter where you're picking in the first 15 picks or in the 15 to 30 picks.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Scott. I got you.
No. You're good.
I think it's different now just because there's 20 rounds. And I think each round now is pretty huge. And if you're going to trade a draft pick, a first round pick, second or third, one of those top picks, not only are they spending more money too as well, but they're getting more top, baseball players too. I find it very intriguing. I find it if they really want somebody and they think this guy, like a Mason Miller, like, hey man, we'll give you, our number 1 pick for next year or whatever, or number 2, and then that would be a big thing for me. That's like trading away two top prospects for me. So I feel like that kind of package for, their top pick or whatever can bode well with saving players too as well. So it's very intriguing. It's very intriguing.
Wait.
Every other team does it. Every sport, excuse
Todd,
me.
You're saying you would rather, as a team, you would rather see your team, if you had a team, get one draft pick in the first round rather than getting two top prospects from a team.
That's the intriguing part, bro. I don't know.
No.
I'm not. It's intriguing because it just depends on who you are and what you want in your club.
Yeah, then you get to pick your own guy.
Yeah, it's a hard decision, but I think it makes it very interesting for the fan and for your team who you're rooting for.
Yeah, and also teams fall in love with who they pick. So this, I think, would help spur more trades because you're less attached to a pick that you don't have yet. I mean, the Guardians did that for Patrick Bailey a couple months ago.
You can you cannot like it, but at the same time, bro, if you're giving away a first or second round pick for somebody, oh baby, bro, you must be on board big time. And there's going to be some fans that are liking it and a lot that don't. So yeah, welcome.
Fans can conceptualize picks too. Like, oh, we're trading our first round pick. This guy better be good.
It's intriguing.
It's good debate.
That's what I'm going to say.
Debate.
It's very intriguing.
I've always been big on this. There's no reason why we shouldn't be able to trade picks. You want to put some limitations? We can talk, but it is important. I think every league gets sparked more. And I think we've gotten a little soft as a sport with trades sometimes because everyone's so scared. So if you give more assets, I think it helps to just spur more trades. Like, no, I value this prospect differently. You're right, Kratz. Everyone's going to be able to value picks very similarly versus prospects. Right? You might think one prospect's the next big thing and the other team doesn't, whatever it is. The debate on a pick will be easier to justify for a trade. I just think it'll create more trades, and that's all I care about in this scenario. It's not going to hurt anyone. I think it's only going to help the league. Part two of this discussion, super important, related to the international draft and what can be done to fix significant crime going on in some Latin American countries with young kids that don't deserve it. Stay tuned on that front. We'll cover it later. Coming up next, Ken Rosenthal's Inside Scoop.
Support for today's episode comes from Square, and they've got big news. During Square's biannual releases event, they launched a wave of innovative new tools to help local businesses run faster, smarter, and more profitably. Square is awesome around Orlando, where AJ and I live. We go to the farmers markets around town. I go to the one near Lake Eola. It's awesome. I use Square to pay with my phone. I get the receipt right away. It's great.
And so many businesses, not just small businesses, use this. So many restaurants and businesses I walk into, not only in Orlando, but all over the country, have these, and you just use your credit card, pops out a receipt, emails it right to you. It's so fast. It's so efficient. It's so hassle-free. It's one of the great things that you have going.
Square launched its most powerful tools yet, designed to give local businesses a competitive edge without the complexity. If you're ready to sell smarter, run faster, and stress less right now, you can get up to $200 off Square hardware at square.com/go/foul. That's square.com/go/FOUL. Run your business smarter with Square. Get started today.
Yes, it's the Inside Scoop with FT Senior Insider Ken Rosenthal, and you can crack open his notes column in The Athletic. There's a fresh one for you to check out. So, Ken, let's start with the headliner here. The guy that we're going to talk about every day up to the trade deadline, unless the Tigers suddenly win 20 in a row, Tarik Skubal. So the latest wrinkle here, I think that I'm trying to understand, is who the front runners can be. Can you explain who might be the front runners in this case based on their standings?
Yes, what I wrote about today, Scott, was just the idea that if you think you have a chance at winning the World Series, you're going to be more likely to perhaps part with the prospects necessary and, of course, take on the financial burden necessary to get Skubal. So this stems from a conversation Jed Hoyer, Cubs president of baseball operations, had with reporters a couple of weeks ago. And he said that teams that are in position to get the bye, skip the first round, get the weaker opponent in the next round because that team has already played, are really the best suited to make splashes for rentals at the deadline. That's paraphrasing what he said, but that was the gist of it. And that's true. Obviously, if you think you have a good chance of winning the World Series, you're going to be more inclined than a team that say is on the fringes of the wild card race and would just want to get into the playoffs because the road is that much more difficult. So Who are the teams we're talking about? The teams currently holding the byes are the Dodgers and Braves in the National League. Brewers are right there with the Braves. And then in the American League, it's the Yankees and the AL Central leader, which right now is both the White Sox and Guardians. Doesn't mean those teams will stay there, of course, but that's the kind of thing that makes sense to me, that if you think you have a chance of winning the World Series, yes, then you part with the prospects and you part with the money that is necessary to do this deal. You might do it anyway. You might, for some reason, be in a particular position where maybe you haven't made the playoffs in a long time. Maybe you have a great system where you can pull this off and not dent it that badly. There are all kinds of factors that are involved, but that was the gist of it.
Let me ask you this. So a trade gets pulled off. What do you think from some of these teams? What do you think the Tigers are going to be looking for? Is it, 3 prospects and, picks? I mean, what do you think the boatload could be for a guy like this, if you had a thought right now in your mind?
Todd, it's a really interesting question because he is a rental, and he is a rental who will cost almost $10 million at the deadline in remaining salary. That is a high price right there, that amount of money for 2 months, maybe 3, of a pitcher. And then you add that, of course, to the prospect haul. And yes, they'll be looking for top 100s. There's no question about it. It's Tarik Skubal. They're going to want a lot. And maybe they'll be realistic. Maybe they won't. They probably will be less realistic earlier than they will later. But it is a mammoth undertaking. Now, I'm giving you the negatives. Oh, the money you have to spend, the prospects you have to give up. You're getting Tarik Skubal. And presuming he is healthy and he pitches again today or tonight, then you're getting one of the top 3 or 4 pitchers in the sport. So there's going to be incentive. Some team is going to do this. We just don't know who yet.
You're talking about what Jed Hoyer was alluding to, basically, about, you just don't want him for one start. Is that the permeated thought throughout the league that if we only have one shot, we don't want to really push all in because the fans don't want that from our team, do they? Because we're all about the fans.
Well, let's face it. You trade for Skubal, you do what I just said. You trade those prospects and you pay him that money. Those are opportunity costs that you could devote elsewhere. And if you're going to trade for Skubal and possibly even miss the playoffs, you're really taking a chance. If you're going to trade for him and you're the kind of team that maybe sneaks in or gets in even pretty well, but is not really kind of ready to go far in the playoffs, we know who those kinds of teams generally are. The things can happen that surprise us. Then maybe you don't do it either. So that's why I wrote what I did, that if you're a team with World Series aspirations and realistic World Series possibilities, you're going to be more inclined to make this final push for a guy who can clearly put you over the top.
Okay, I would say look at the Tigers and look at their offense. They almost made the World Series, and they had Tarik Skubal, but I hear what you're saying, Ken. I get it. But I want teams, all of them, to push all in, and everybody, because I know the players are pushing. One team that needs to
the Tigers haven't even gotten to an ALCS with Skubal. So, yes, they've had good runs, but that's not far enough.
Okay. I get it. And I'm too biased to the player who is pushing all in every single day, but I understand the long term for teams. A team that is pushed all in and has pushed all in for a few years with some long-term contracts to their players are the Braves. What is their outlook looking like? I get it. They had a tiny little move just here last night, but what does that outlook for them need to look like? And what do you feel like Alex Anthopoulos' history of being a GM there has been to make those moves?
Good question, Erik, and I'll answer it in a couple different ways. First, I believe I said on Fair Territory maybe a week or so ago that the Braves system is not rated very highly. That is true. It is not rated very highly by the outside publications, by Fangraphs, by MLB.com, by The Athletic. A fan, though, jumped me in the comments, this often happens, and said, our system is really good right now. Now, that's a fan talking, so I actually thought, well, you know what, maybe I should check, see what the Braves think of their own guys. Now, teams always think their systems are better than the outside might believe. That's fine. That's the way it should be. But the Braves generally do believe that their system is on the rise. Some of their people think it might even be a top 10 system right now. So they would seemingly have enough to get Tarik Skubal. That's number one. That was the first question, and the first question for every team that has to be answered. Do you have enough? Can you make this kind of deal? Okay. Now, Alex Anthopoulos, as the president of baseball operations for the Atlanta Braves, has not generally made huge moves for rentals, expensive rentals. Remember the year they won, he got all kinds of rentals, and they were kind of piecemeal guys, Soler and Jock Peterson coming from all over the place. He hasn't done this kind of move. He did do it, though, in Toronto. If you remember, they traded for David Price, and that was a big move at the time, and that was something that they did under Alex Anthopoulos. So to suggest that he wouldn't do this, he probably wouldn't necessarily be the most inclined of the teams that we mentioned, but I don't know that you can rule him out simply because their system is stronger and they are a team that has legitimate World Series aspirations with a rotation that beyond Chris Sale has a lot of questions.
All right, well, then that is what makes me really intrigued about the Braves. They have young guys on their big league team, on their big league roster that are extended for a long time. You talk about the Mets and possibly Freddie Peralta. The Mets aren't like the Tigers where they get rid of Skubal. All right, we got to get prospects and whatever. Is it possible that the Braves trade from their big league controlled roster to add a Freddie Peralta to the Mets, who are like, hey, we want to win in the next 3 years. We'll take Albies is now a free agent, but like somebody like an Austin Riley, we'll take a player that's controlled, which is what David Stearns likes, or do you think the Braves keep their entire roster intact that way and just go to the minor leagues?
Austin Riley's on a big contract, and he's been in decline. So I don't know if that's the best example, but could something along those lines happen? Yes, except for this, Erik, that Peralta is still a rental. And teams generally don't like giving up years of proven control for a rental. They'll give up prospects, and they'll kind of do it reluctantly. But to think that they would give up, I don't know, name a Brave. Let's just use Austin Riley as an example. It would clear the contract for the Braves, great. But I don't know that that's something that the Mets would want to do. I'm not sure that it's something the Braves would want to do either. It's not the kind of trade we usually see. Not to say that it can't happen. Because the one thing I always say at the deadline, haven't said it this year because we're still 6 weeks away, but things will happen at the deadline that will make our heads spin, that will completely unanticipated. So I'm not going to rule it out. It's just generally not the way these things go.
Understood totally. Now I want to talk about the Blue Jays a little bit. I want you to dive deep into this team. Like, do you think this team, for one, has an opportunity to get going, to get back in this playoff picture, to make a run? And for two, do you see them not being afraid to go out and get a little more offense as we move forward here?
Todd, I definitely see them as a team that can go on a run. And my understanding is they're telling teams, even though they're over the highest luxury tax threshold, that they're willing to still take on money. So if that's the case, okay, how do you take this team, which has been really mediocre so far, and make it better? The first thing that has to happen is Vlad Jr.'s got to start hitting for power again. Had the home run at Fenway yesterday. I know the wind was blowing out, but it was a home run. So that's number one. When I asked yesterday what their biggest needs were, talked to a few people, I was told a high contact hitter, kind of someone who would fit into their system, right? And obviously a right-handed hitting outfielder. Their outfield is pretty much all left-handed, excluding Springer, who really is more of a DH at this point. So those are two additions they could make on the offensive side. They also, much to the surprise of everyone, although I guess we shouldn't be surprised whenever something like this happens, they need rotation help. They started the year with like 7 or 8, and now they're down below 5. So a rotation piece would be helpful, and their bullpen is kind of worn out, so they're going to need bullpen help as well. But because they got a taste of it last year, it's my expectation that they're going to want to keep going and keep trying to win with this group.
All right, let's go across to the other side of the coast and go to the Mariners. Are we going to start saying everybody wants bullpen help and a right-handed platoon bat? Because I feel like if the Mariners can add that with Canzone and Raleigh, that it would take place of what Ref Snyder was supposed to be brought in to do.
Erik, we are going to say that. Every
Okay,
team
good.
does need bullpen help, and every team seemingly is looking for right-handed hitting. And the Mariners are a classic case. Now, Munoz has been up and down. His stuff's good, but his results haven't been great. They could use one more high leverage reliever. Who couldn't? And you mentioned it. Ref Snyder is not hit. Robles is not a great offensive player. So a right-handed platoon type would be helpful to them because, as you said, Raleigh and Canzone are doing it from the left side. They believe they can win. And they are a team that right now is going to a piggyback rotation because they've got 6 starters they want to keep stretched out. They also have a guy dominating Double-A, Cade Anderson, number 3 pick in the draft last year, who effectively could be their 7th starter. So they have the pitching, or at least the starting pitching. They just need to round out the rest of the team. And also, most importantly for the Mariners right now, they need to get healthy. They've had guys going in and out of the lineup for weeks now. And Rosarena is on the IL. They're waiting to get Brandon Donovan back. So that's got to be paramount for them as well. And if they do have at the deadline, and again, we're 6 weeks away, if they have injuries to certain players that they need to effectively replace, that's going to drive what they do as well.
So we had a conversation about trading draft picks, first round picks. It was good. I thought it was intriguing, but now another team that you've talked about and we've all talked about is the Pittsburgh Pirates. They have a compensation pick. And from what you're hearing down the road, they're not afraid to trade that 34th pick to get something special, or is that nonsense?
No, that's true, Todd. And that is exactly what I'm hearing. And we've seen this kind of trade the last couple of deadlines where teams will trade their comp pick for anything that they might desire. And it's happened a couple of times with relievers. It's how the Royals got Hunter Harvey 2 years ago. It's how the Rays got Brian Baker last year. So it would not shock me at all to see the Pirates make this kind of deal, follow this kind of framework. Doesn't have to be for a reliever. They traded for one last night, Joey Bart to Atlanta, Hunter Stratton going back to Pittsburgh, but they're looking for better than that. And yes, the pick could come into play for anything that they might be looking for. It would be all on the pitching side, and I would expect bullpen is their priority.
All right, when you were talking to the Phillies, who all wanted to chime in on the whole Mizorowski and his meteoric rise to what he's doing this year? Was it Don Mattingly, Wheeler? And what were the unique comments that they made about what they're seeing from the Miz?
Yeah, I really liked hearing about this and writing about it today. So last Friday night, Miz had that incredible game, right? 15 strikeouts, 1 hit, 95 pitch, complete game shutout. One of the best games any of us will ever see pitched. It's against the Phillies. And in the middle of the game, Mattingly turns to Wheeler and says, you know what? This is like what it used to be when you guys would come into Miami with you and DeGrom and dominate us. Remember, Mattingly was the manager of the Marlins for quite some time. And Wheeler effectively or essentially said, I wish my body moved like that when I was that age. I wish I had what this kid has, that fluidity. And even now, Wheeler says he sometimes watches Mizorowski and DeGrom for that matter, because at times he believes he can get too robotic in his delivery. And those two pitchers in particular, they have this unique flow to them and flow to their deliveries. And it works obviously extremely well. And Wheeler also mentioned Mizorowski's extension, which is ridiculous. It's the longest extension really of any pitcher in the majors. He is 6'7". He gets out there 7 feet 6 inches down the mound. So that 101, when it's 101, plays up to maybe 103 and vice versa, and all these different equations. Makes it that much more difficult for the hitter. Now, Wheeler has great extension too. He's like top 5% of the league. And he noticed, obviously, this is something that helps the Miz as well. But the real takeaway was Wheeler saying, I wish I moved like that when I was that age.
Crazy, man. I want to go to the Yankees for a second. A lot of talks about their bullpen. If they're going to be a World Series team, this bullpen's got to be better. Oh, yeah, understandable. I get that. There's some injuries. Aaron Judge is not there. Guys are just getting back off the injuries. What do you think for the Yankees to get over that hump to win a World Series they're going to need at the trade deadline? We talked about Skubal. Don't get me wrong, that would be great. But what do you think their biggest need is as they move forward into the 6 weeks?
Right-handed hitting catcher. We've all talked about that. There's no question that is something that they are seeking. You've heard Ryan Jeffers' name a lot. He's with the Twins. He's going to be healthy soon. He would be ideal. Bullpen, as you mentioned, Todd, might be the even bigger priority because they've got to get it straight. Their bullpen is not bad, and there's talent there, but they need more. Now, the one thing outside of a trade they might do is promote one of their top pitching prospects, Carlos Legrand, who is pitching in relief in AAA right now. Legrand is a guy with one of these amazing arms, and they believe that he could come up and impact their bullpen in a big way. Maybe, could he even be what Frankie Rodriguez was to the Angels in 2002 and David Price was to the Rays in 2008? The guy who comes up out of nowhere, makes his major league debut, and is suddenly pitching in the late innings. That's probably a stretch, but they could dream, and certainly he has that kind of ability.
Oh, I'm a big believer that if you've got elite arm talent and teams haven't seen you, you can make an even bigger impact in the playoffs. We saw that from Trey Savage last year. That's definitely a thing. So I'm into it. I'll follow that storyline. Ken, last one for you. We'll take a different turn here. Your thoughts on anything that was put out there with the latest CBA proposal? Because we can talk money all day, but these were some significant changes from MLB that would impact the way that we watch the sport. You wouldn't have 19-year-old rookies anymore, right? You'd get rid of that. You'd have guys come out of, I guess you could be a 19-year-old rookie international, but not domestic, which AJ was pissed about. And I'd love to hear the explanation there from the league at some point. But there were a number of changes that were proposed. Thoughts on anything that you saw yesterday that stood out?
Scott, you said it's not about money. It's all about money. It's all about saving money, cutting what they pay draft picks, cutting the amount of players drafted. The whole thing is about that. Yes, the international draft would result in those players getting a higher aggregate, perhaps, but it's all about cost control. Every proposal they're making is about cost control. I didn't like what I heard. High school players are obviously in many cases riskier draft picks, but some of the great players in the game are high school players and international players who were signed not at 18, but at 16. And then you're asking the colleges to essentially become the feeder system for Major League Baseball, to take over development in many ways, because you're obviously funneling players to college. And as many people have pointed out, and this is a great point, college baseball is not about development. College baseball is about winning. Those coaches are under increasing pressure all the time to win. Freshmen don't play for that reason, so you lose a year of development there. There are going to be a lot of proposals, obviously, coming back and forth over the next month, several months, really until next spring training. Some of them can be taken more seriously than others. I just can't imagine this ever being adopted in a meaningful way. You might see elements of this. You might see some kind of compromise, but it seems to me, and this will happen with the union's proposals too, they aim here and maybe they get back to here at some point. And actually, it's going to have to happen with all the proposals that we've seen from both sides so far. They're going to have to eventually come down from what they're asking. And what bothers me is these proposals that the owners are making, it's almost as if they're operating like the sport is broke. Sport's not broke, not even close.
How can the owners spin this to be something positive for the game? Because I'm missing it, and maybe I just have one day of the feeling of, wait a minute, you're taking this away, you're taking this away. I get the money cost, but how are the owners going? How does this enhance the game?
Their point is that college baseball is really good right now. True. No one would dispute that. Their point also is that college baseball, many of the tools that exist in the majors and even the minors exist at the college level. And I'm talking about the advanced analytical and technological tools. So what they're saying is players can develop better that way. This will help college baseball. And as for high school kids, they get a college education more likely than not because they can't be a major leaguer or even in a major league organization until they're 20 years old. Okay, but there's always the other side of it. And the other side of it here is they want international players to begin their careers later. They want high school kids to begin their careers later. And what does that do? It pushes them further down the line in the age cycle for free agency.
Bingo. Oh, and just to take this back to my question to kick this off to Ken. Oh, it is all about the money. I just get fatigue from talking about the money component and say, hey, how can we relate this to the sport? But yeah, it is
No, I know what you were
all
saying,
about the
Scott.
money.
I know what you were asking, but it is all about the money. And remember, when they made the initial salary cap proposal, the owners, that the players were like, whoa, 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 this doesn't add up. Something has to be coming out of the amateur side. Bingo, something's coming out of the amateur side.
There you go. There you have it, people. And we'll let Ken go, but we're about to get into another reason why it actually can take a scary turn when it's all about the money. But we'll let Ken run his way. You don't you enjoy this segment on the sidelines, Ken. We can talk about it another time. Thanks for the time. Have a great weekend.
You too, guys. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. That's FT Senior Insider Ken Rosenthal on the CBA proposal. So here's the last layer I want to get to today. MLB proposed to work with the Dominican Republic government on player protections. So you can read many incredible articles, including a recent one from Alden Gonzalez on a child who actually died and was being given steroids. I'm paraphrasing a little bit here, and died from this, right? There is complete control from what's called Buscones. They're trainers down there, but they're really like loan sharky trainers. It is like a criminal web that is wild. And it is also sparked by teams that have people down in places like the DR that are paying these Buscones, right? And controlling all of it. MLB has not done much about this. They can say they have, but there's no way they're going to prove that they've done much. And in fact, you can go to a recent quote from Rob Manfred, who said when he was asked, like, why are you guys, not pressing down harder on this? He said, yeah, but who's taking the check? Right? So it's not about the drug dealers. It's about those that are using it. It doesn't matter. Deal away. Okay. So this is what they proposed. A code of conduct for independent trainers with appropriate penalties. Great. The prohibition of any individual or firm from purchasing an interest in the player's future signing bonus or salary, or having a player or his family money with the player's future signing bonus or comp as collateral. Great. Down there. No, Kratz, this has to do with down there. They have loan sharks down there that'll be like, I'm going to give you 5 cents and you give me 80% of your salary. This is not the places that are more, SEC approved and all of that in the US that are like, oh, I'll give you $1 million for 5%. This is like loan sharks taking all of their money, which is what the Buscones do too. Okay. A few more that they proposed. Implementation of a lifetime ban from the baseball industry and criminal penalties for any person who provides performance enhancing substances to a player. This is all in the Dominican Republic. This is like 10, 11, 12-year-olds, people sometimes that are dealing with this stuff down there. It is insane criminal activity that is going on. That's been a problem for a long time. And MLB's answer has been, we need an international draft. Hold on, one more, and then we'll get to this. A requirement that players who reside in an independent trainer academy prior to age 18 must remain enrolled in an education program. Okay, so there's 4 things they put out there. Now tell me, let's do some really simple math here, Kratz. Tell me why those 4 things could not have been implemented for the past 20 years. Tell me one reason. Okay, I'm going to preface this so there's no bias on the floor. I think we should have an international draft one day. I actually think that's fine. As a fan, I'm good. I'm in on an international draft. The whole point of this, though, is this has nothing to do with an international draft. This is basically MLB saying we're not going to crack down on something that is creating significant criminal activity in the Dominican Republic because we don't get the way we want. So we're going to let it crash and burn. Meanwhile, what happens? Kids get abused, kids die, right? We had a kid who literally died from being forced to take steroids. What are we doing?
It has been something that I have, ever since I heard in 2012, I heard Mariano Rivera speak on this. Speak on the fact that, yes, everybody knows who Mariano Rivera is. At the time, everybody knew who Robinson Cano was. And he named other Latin players that came from Latin countries, not just the DR, but from Latin countries and are playing in the big leagues. He's like, everybody knows them. There's that many times 10 that are at these Boscans, at these training facilities. It's the Dominicans type of like go live at baseball camp. is essentially what it would be like, except it's essentially child human trafficking by these Boscans because Major League Baseball has turned a blind eye to it. He's turned a blind eye to it. People probably remember the video of me crying, talking about different Latin players that come, what they come from. And when you talk to them it's a travesty because I'm talking to the guys that are in AAA in the big leagues, not the guys that never made it, who were 16 years old. And most people don't get done growing at 16 years old, but haven't had any schooling for the last 2 years, don't get picked by a team. And these Boscans just push them back out into the street, send them back to their family, and they leave with less safety, they leave with less health, and they leave with zero education for the majority of these. There are some that are high quality, but the majority of them, these kids have gone 2, possibly 4 years without any schooling, and Major League Baseball has turned a blind eye to it. The Players Association has tried their best, but Major League Baseball has turned a blind eye to it because they say, well, how can we regulate it?
Yeah, and I think that's the hardest part. Getting school, getting education, fantastic. Playing baseball, absolutely fantastic. Combine those two things together, there shouldn't be anything else after that. It should be about the kids. I mean, the DR has some of the best baseball players to ever play this game. Let's just keep on building on that and making these kids better each day, day in and day out. Give them a good little education. I know it's harder. I know it's much more difficult, where they are and the circumstances and everything. But if you can give them an opportunity to further themselves in baseball the right way, I think we're going to be better off.
Yeah, and just to conclude, I'm for a draft internationally if they can get it all right and make it make sense. I think that does make sense, but it has nothing to do with what was put out there when they say there's nothing we can do to regulate. No, there are things you can do. You literally just told us in public that you're holding them back to get more money. That to me is where it crosses the line and it pisses me off. So we can spend much more time on this. It's just proposal, so I don't want to go too deep. Most of this stuff's never going to happen, but just wanted to throw it out there for you to really digest.
Baseball's good where it's at, guys. Stop changing baseball.
Except for this.
No, except for this. But I'm saying
this is probably the number one problem in the entire sport for humanity. Forget everything else. Literal humanity. Yeah. That's the thing that gets me going.
Besides this, baseball is very good where it's at right now. We don't need to change anything with the sport alone. The fans love it. It's quicker. The rules are actually really good in helping the sport. MLB, slow down, man. It's very good. We don't need anything else. We don't need a lockout. Let's keep it rolling.
And it's a travesty. It's a travesty. We have to wait till December 2nd to talk about negotiations with this. This is something that Major League Baseball could start right now and save people's livelihood. Just getting an education anywhere in the United States, in the Dominican, will better your future. So the fact that Major League Baseball wants this to be negotiated feels like it's very how could the players not agree to this? We are willing to help people. You can help people right now. You are benefiting from the commodity, as you're looking at it, that a player is. And you're not willing to make sure these Boscans aren't taking 20, 30% of future signing bonuses.
More.
I'm saying based on numbers that I've seen of star players that take that money, and then that doesn't even mean I'll even push those guys aside. They're taking that money. It's the kids that are being fed, barely fed, played baseball, not picked, and now pushed back out into a country that those kids could have been educated during that time. Those kids could have been furthered their lives because most people don't make it to the big leagues. That's the reality of the big leagues. No matter how many picks we have or rounds we have, you don't make it. It's hard to make it. And so for Major League Baseball to turn a blind eye to what's going on down there is a travesty to me.
Yep, we can all conclude that we all need to do better down there and work on that. So we'll talk more about it, I'm sure, in the offseason. Let's get back to ball, and let's get to our next guest. Hey, exciting young prospect in the Brewer system, Andrew Fischer, joining us right now. Andrew, we appreciate the time, man. Loving watching you do your work in the minors and can't wait to see you in the show someday. How you doing?
What's going on? I appreciate you guys having me on here.
Great to have you. All right, so I want to start here because I'm a New Jersey native. So were you a hoops fan growing up?
Not like nothing crazy. Once I got to college, I guess like followed Duke a little bit just because I was there, and then aside from that, though, like not really big into basketball.
Okay, just was checking Top Father. Obviously, the Knicks kind of taking over the city for a little. Wanted to see if that was a big thing or not too big right now for you, right?
I'm
watching ball.
Go ahead, Kratzy.
No, I'm going to interrupt Todd. We try not to interrupt each other, Andrew. But I've heard a lot of things like, bro, I hit up Andrew after he hit that home run. Yo, Fisher, he's right down the street. I want to know, on a level of annoying to not annoying, how often does Todd hit you up? Is it only when you do well, or does he hit you up when you have 3 punch-outs in a game?
Yeah, no, it's good. So growing up, I had a chance to play for their travel team and like get lessons with these guys. It's been great keeping that relationship over these years, and they've been great mentors to me. Like, it's just been awesome. So I'm glad that we stay in touch and touch base. So it's good. He's just hearing his voice every now and again through the text is great, and it keeps me in check.
Can you see this picture that's on there right now?
Yeah, I can. I see.
Dude, it's funny because most of the time I don't remember, working with kids, but seeing you in there, dude, you were just so raw right there. And people don't understand, like, when you see your hands were kind of up trying to figure out your swing, it's like, man, who is this kid? What is he going to be? And I'm like, I kept telling my brother, and my brother Jeff, who worked with you a lot more than me, but just keep watching this kid. And eventually you got bigger, you got stronger, and you come from a great background. So it's like, you never know what some lanky guy that, can't even control the barrel as much at a young age can turn into. Right. And you look at yourself, man, pretty cool.
No, it was awesome. Just taking little things each day, trying to stack good days. It's even more now that I'm into pro ball. I'm still learning. Like, you gotta stack a little something each day. There is no finished product in June, so you're trying to win the race in October, and still stacking good days. Like you said, back in the day, I was skinny, I was tiny. The bat was swinging me, but now I put on a little bit of size, and it's worked out.
So I want to go back not a little bit ago. So you figure out where you want to go to college, right? So you first go to Duke, then you go to another powerhouse the next year. Was that Ole Miss, if I'm not mistaken?
Ole Miss.
And then eventually Tennessee. Craziness, because when I think about when I played, I'm like, I wonder how it would have been if I played with all the NIL and everything else. Just talk about those decisions a little bit and how all 3 of them impacted you to where you are right now.
Yeah. So I get a chance to go to Duke, get that opportunity. Coach Pollard came along and offered me that spot, and just kind of took it and ran with it, tried to make the most of it. I was a little bit of a deer in headlights in the fall, just trying to figure things out. Luckily, I had the right people around me, right teammates, couple fifth-year senior guys that put their arm around me to kind of show me the ropes. And I always try to give as much props to those guys as I can, because it is really them who turned me into the player I am now, because they show me like, hey, we might not have the talent, but we got the work ethic. So that's why we're here, and we're going to show you how to work hard and show you what real work looks like behind the scenes. And they kind of whipped me in the shape in the fall. So that was good. So props to those guys. Then I get over to Ole Miss, and you get a chance to be on the big scene with all the fans. And I mean, it's a crowd that you could be their favorite player, and if you're 0 for 4, you're getting booed on your 5th at bat going up there. So they care a lot. The community's great. It was really, really cool. It was a great experience, and I developed just there by the exposure to that league, that conference. Great players. The list goes on. The talent that we had and faced. So that was good. And get a chance to play for Tony V in my last year in college, which he's unbelievable. And I watch almost every single game I can the Giants play, just because how involved he's been still to this day in my career. So he's a great guy. Some great people over there at Tennessee, and Rocky Top's gonna feel like home. So for forever.
All right. Well, I don't know if you've seen the latest proposal. I'm not saying we need to go through the latest proposal by the league. Do you think college baseball develops players enough to be big league players compared to where you're at right now in the minor leagues, developing players?
Yeah, right now I think the talent I was around, especially this past level that I just got through, was high A. It's like a bunch of raw talent. You got guys throwing super hard. You got guys that have big league stuff, and they can make the ball do some crazy things. But sometimes their command isn't there. Or you got guys who are 4 or 5 tool guys. They can run the 6.0 60. They can hit balls 110 miles an hour, and they're just so close to putting it together. And then now here, you got guys in Double-A who are putting it together, and they're trying to prove themselves. They got depth that they're trying to break themselves into lineups in levels above. So it's good. I think the talent here is great. The one thing I would say is in college, you get an atmosphere of guys that are just like ingrained the mentality of it's anything we can do to win. Like no matter what, we are going to do whatever it takes to win. And like I said, those fifth-year guys for me were crucial my freshman year. I didn't realize how much it meant to win those games that were even like a midweek game against, West whatever school or whatever, and those wins matter. So these guys showed me that, and I think you get to see a difference between the college guys in pro ball and the minor leagues versus the high school guys, because these guys are the ones that come back in the locker room after a loss. They go 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and 4 RBIs on the day, and we lost that game. And these college kids are upset. Like truly, you could see it. They're frustrated. They're upset. Versus some of the younger guys who might not have had that experience in college are, they have their 2 for 5 day with 2 homers, and they're juiced. And they don't really have that feel yet. So I think over time, the younger guys, the high school guys, eventually learn that. But I think that college experience for me, like just learning how to win and how to handle winning and also how to handle losing. Like I didn't go to Omaha, and that's still something that like I look back on, like what could I have done differently? But it like keeps you hungry after those losses to figure out what is it you got to do next, and how do you get better? How do you make this team better to feel that success eventually?
Those older players, you'll feel the same thing when you have some vets when you're in the show too. So you have that to look forward to, guys that'll help you learn it. But you're right in it right now. You got to give me a definitive answer. Is the SEC better than high A, low A? What league is it better than?
Yeah. Okay. So SEC, give me your Friday night, your best guy with 10,000 in the crowd, and you got the adrenaline pumping. It's real stuff. It's real stuff. You're looking at guys who could be 2, 3, and 4s in big league rotation right now and could impact the team today. I think there's guys right now that are playing in SEC, ACC, even whatever those other conferences are there, that could literally impact a big league team today and help them win a playoff game or make a push. As far as like selecting a level that I think it would go to, I don't know. I just think the depth is better in the ACC and SEC as like more complete arms that are gonna compete to win games. It's like you got guys that out here they walk 3, 4 guys in a row. It's no big deal. We walk 1 guy in college, we got the whole pen up and moving. You walk 2 guys, someone else is coming in the game. If there's a 3rd guy that walks in a row, that kid might not see the mound again for 2 months, which is a big deal in college. So you learn a lot about that in the fall as well. They create these environments where you're doing inter-squad scrimmages, and it's good because they hold you to the standard that they expect in the regular season in college in the fall. So you learn what that environment's like. Where here it's like there's so much like trial and error. Like, hey, what if we include like this pitch into this guy's arsenal, and we tell him he has to throw it 40% of the time? And same thing with me. Like, all right, hey, Fish, we really want you to work on, swinging at breaking balls in the zone. So for me, it's like I could go up there and punch on 3 pitches that are fastballs middle, and I come back and I get praised. Like, hey, we had set you a plan. We're working on tunneling breaking balls. We don't want you to chase them down. We want you to see ones in the zone. And I mean, you just don't get fastballs. Breaking balls every time. So you might go that whole at bat without seeing it. And they're like, okay, hey, we gave you this plan, this task, and you conquered it. So that's a good thing. They're trying to develop the player more versus like in college, your development is like exposure to the competitive atmosphere in the clubhouse and the locker room, on the field, that kind of stuff. So it's like you find a way to get it done there. So it's really hard for me to, backing up to your question, like assign like players to what level like in college this is in pro ball. But like guys that I'm facing here in Double-A, they could easily pitch in the SEC. But I'm telling you, like if they go through some of the outings that we see, like 2 walks, 3 walks in a row, like a big inning here or there, like we're getting the pen moving, we're getting everyone rolling. So in college. So it's kind of a different atmosphere.
So, Kratzy, you could tell that him and I are 2 totally different guys because when I played, his mindset is so much more keener and smarter than mine. You and I back in the day, we would just see the ball, hit the ball. There's so much process and so much more that goes on into the game, which Andrew, I give you credit, man, because it's absolutely phenomenal, your thought process and taking a chance. I remember coaches used to tell me, go up there, either don't do no stride swing. And I'm like, oh my God, bro, I don't want to do this. And then your mindset, you're like, all right, well, take a pitch until you get a strike or you get the pitch you want. And if you strike out on 3 pitches, you don't get it, you walk back and the coach is like, hey, all right, thanks for doing that. Now you can move on. I would have been so frustrated at the time doing all that. But again, it's about development so you can understand yourself. So my question to you is, give me your routine. When you go to the ballpark, talk to me about what you do before every game, so we can have a better understanding how you developed and what your process is with hitting.
Yeah, so I think one of the big things for me that I got in pro ball versus college is like they have in college, it's like set times where the whole team is going to work out, the whole team's going to lift. So in pro ball, it was a big transition for me to like figure out, all right, this is the day where I'm going to crush it in the weight room. I'm going to spend an hour and a half doing my stuff. I'm going to lift heavy. We're squatting, we're deadlifting, we're bench pressing, whatever. Versus like now in pro ball, you're playing 6 games a week and you're trying to figure out, all right, how do I maintain my body and how I feel, but also not have it impact my game on the field. So for me, like one of the big things in my routine here is spending like, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 minutes in the training room. I'm extremely vocal with my trainers. Like, hey, this is what I feel like I need to do to get ready. They're going to give me some exercises to do to activate those areas. Hot tub is cold tub, like crucial parts of my routine before I even start the day. I'm doing contrast almost every single day, trying to make sure the body's right. One of my big things here is like, I want to play as many days in a row as possible. I want to get as many at bats in. I don't want to be sidelined because I didn't properly like treat and prep my body. So I'm spending so much extra time in the training room doing that kind of stuff, contrast, whatever it is. And then as far as like lifting wise, I've come to doing a little bit of something every day. Like even if it is 6 days a week, it's 20 minutes in the weight room instead of 3 days a week of an hour and a half lifting. So you're just touching a little bit of something. I'm trying to do full body, a little bit upper, a little bit of lower body, some explosive movements. Another thing that we do here great with the Brewers is like they're focused on like hydration. And down here in Biloxi, Mississippi, it's super humid. So we're testing our players' hydration all the time, like multiple days a week here. And it's good. So I'm crushing water, electrolytes. We have our strength guys that are on us about getting in like this product is called Right Stuff or whatever else that like gets you in the right stuff you need to make sure your body's hydrated. And so that's a big part of my routine. I'm learning that less is actually more in the cage and less is more out on the field. You're almost like saving your bullets on the field. I'm trying to see how many good reps I can get in the cage at like 80% and make sure right before the game, I got like 1 or 2 game reps in and I'm ready to roll. So we got some early hitting stuff. I'll do my T routine, my front toss, like weighted balls, whatever that looks like. And then we have a section of time where it's like BP with the team, and that's more like, hey, today we're doing angled machine with a breaker of some sort or something. And you're getting that done because they have a process that helps your development here. And as a new guy, I'm trying to buy in and do everything I can to make sure I check all those boxes. And then right before the game, we have iPitch, which is like a machine. It's like an iPad. You can basically put in the pitcher, and there's like these, like, they're not foam balls. They're called like Marv balls, and they're just like a little bit softer than a baseball, just so you're not like breaking your wood bat and whatnot while you're hitting. But basically, they'll put in the starter, and like about 20 minutes, 30 minutes before the game, I get in the cage, get like 3 or 4 at bats of just like mixed reps off the machine, and I try to make it as game like as possible. Like that same sort of tempo with like the pitch clock at 15 seconds and getting in the box at 8 and taking deep breaths. And even sometimes here, like TrackMan will say it's a ball, and our coach will be like, hey, that's called a strike. So now you're 0-1, even though that might have been a good take, but you got to deal with umpires sometimes that are no good. So you're just trying to get those mental reps in as well.
Golly, you're 22 years old. I remember 22 years old in the minor leagues. I was like, I hope I wake up in time to make it to the game. And you're talking your routine is ridiculous, all that stuff. You switch from high A to double A. Are the facilities nicer? Because people think, oh, high A moved up. It must be glitz and glamour, but I see a lot of cinder block walls behind you.
Yeah, I'm in the cage right now. You can see I'm here. We got one lane here. It's enough to get our work in. So whatever we got to do to get ready, we make sure that there's set times. Like, hey, these guys said that they want to come in here. All right, cool. Those 3 guys are going to come in here at X time. This is a good slot for me to get my work in at whatever time. So they do a good job blocking off sections for us. Fortunately, the Timber Rattler Stadium high A for us is like just completely renovated, brand new on our side. So the facility over there is about as big league as it gets. Like the locker room, even like the clubby, he takes such great care of the stuff over there, and he does such a great job of taking care of the players and keeping that thing up to speed. So the Brewers do an amazing job here. So our facility is pretty good. No complaints. I'm new here, so I'm still searching around for things. I only got 1 game under my belt. So if you ask me like how the field plays over there at third base or wherever, like I wouldn't be able to give you like a true answer right now, but the grounds crews are extremely passionate. It's the same guys here every day. So they put a lot of time in and work to get these fields ready for us.
And you hit a dinger in your first game, so humble brag, but you're not bragging. I saw it in the stat sheet, but there's a few Brewers teammates in the minor leagues here, or organizational Brewers players, that have gotten locked up. Are you like looking at your phone like, when are Matt Arnold going to call me? Is that discussions that has already happened? Are you open to that? What is that talk like with the other minor leaguers that you're around?
Yeah, so it's interesting you brought that up. Like, I've never been around so many guys in the same clubhouse, even though, like I said, like I played on teams, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Duke, great players, great prospects, players that are being successful right now in the big leagues. We're on those teams. I've never been around a clubhouse at each level, not just like, oh, that was just in, Wisconsin at the high A team. The talent in these clubhouses is unmatched. It's unreal. Every guy we have here, I could go on and on and on if you ask me about each individual guy. I mean, we have the number 1 prospect in baseball, Jesus Mate, hitting in our cage, and you wouldn't even know he's our number 1 guy because we have 17 other guys that are getting in the same work as him. If you watch them all play, you'd be like, guy's a hell of a ball player. So, like, the talent in here is unreal. I think that's why the Brewers do such a good job at developing their guys. Is they put you in environments where you're literally competing every day with the best of the best. So getting a chance to take batting practice with 6 other guys that are highly touted players every day, for me, is going to make my batting practice sharper. It's going to make my in-game reps sharper. It's going to make our communication on the field sharper. It's honestly really special what they have over here. So I'm grateful for the opportunity that they've given me to play with these guys. And even at like the big league level, you looking at a guy like Cooper Pratt, he's up there. He was just in the minor leagues this past season. He, like you said, he just signed a big deal, and he's up in the big leagues killing it right now, helping those guys out. And like we got Lara, he just signed another deal. a great kid, locker room guy that you're like, man, I'd love to be around him. And he's just a competitor. He's going to be up there soon. Another kid that I think should get some more love is Jet Williams. Like, he's in AAA right now, but I can almost guarantee you October rolls around, you're going to see him locking down a hot corner for the Brewers and making a real impact. These are guys that there's 25, 30 other guys I can name right now that I'm like, yeah, he's going to help this team out in the future. Like, sure, only 9 guys can play, but this team's going to be special going forward.
I got a 2-parter here. This is a quick one. Have you faced Jacob Mizorowski yet?
I haven't, but the guys here that have say it's special.
Dude, yeah. I shook his hand in the All-Star game last year. I'm telling you, his fingers went up to my elbow. Whatever. Yeah. He's a talent above everything. Your swing. I love everything about it. I got to get you in my lab. We got to work out in the off season, man. You and I want to see everything you do, and we'll get that going. But who do you model it after? Is there somebody you model it after, or is this something that, came about out of high school as you kept moving forward?
Yeah, I think watching Bryce Harper hit has been my go-to. There's so many other players that I watch. It's more about like each part of the swing. Like there's, your lower half, there's your back foot, your front foot, your back knee, your front knee, your hips. There's so many different parts that are going into it that's trying to generate power and obviously accuracy when you're moving the barrel. So just taking a little bit from each guy, it's something I've tried to work on. And I think now one of my like new tasks I've tried this past season is like talking about like approach with these players. Cause sometimes you look at a swing and you're like, wow, Juan Soto swings great, but you don't realize like how many clubs he has in his bag. Like he knows, all right, hey, today I'm not seeing the ball great. He just beat me with 2 breakers away. So this is what I need to do. This is my tool I have in my bag to fix that. You can't just go up there and be like, oh, I don't got it today and I'm not seeing it well and the wind's blowing in my face and it's pouring rain out, or, hey, I'm only at 80% today, but I'm in the lineup and this is my tool that I'm going to use to help me get by for the day and still be successful. So that's one thing I'm talking about. Like Josh Adamczewski, you talk to him, he's a prospect within our org, like going to be a hell of a ball player. And him and I talk, it's like there's so many different tools in the bag. Like you got your 2-0, 3-0 swing and you got your regular approach, whatever that looks like. But what do you do when you deal with a guy like Jacob Mizorowski who's throwing 103 and he's got 7'8" extension and he gets in there and he spins you 3 breaking balls and you haven't even seen the fastball yet and you got 2 strikes. So like, what is your tool that you're going to use so that doesn't beat you when that happens? Because like, I don't know, for the kids listening or watching this, like it does happen. You're going to get in there and you're not going to feel all your prep's going to feel great. And then you're going to get in there and be like, oh, what's going on? And so for me, it's like, how can I make my tools and my approach like so wide that there's nothing that I haven't faced yet, or when I do face that, it doesn't surprise me, or I know how to make those adjustments. So our guys here, like one of the new things I picked up is they move around a lot in the box, like making box adjustments pitch to pitch. Hey, this fastball, it's sinking on me a little bit, so I'm going to try to see it up. And I'm going to move up in the box, but I got to be aware that my timing is going to have to be different because I'm making a 6-inch box adjustment, or this guy's throwing me away. I know he's got a cutter that he uses, but he's not throwing it against me. I'm going to slide up on the box towards the plate, try and look out over. But when he throws me in, I got to know it's going to do X, Y, and Z. And this is my tool to get to that pitch. So like, how do I move my body differently? And what's my approach? How does that change? How does it vary? So it's like some of the stuff we work on here, which is cool.
All right. How do you handle your K rate compared to power? How do you handle that like approach of you strike out a lot, but you also hit for a lot of power?
Yeah, I think it's something that like I was saying earlier, like people don't realize in the minor leagues, this is not a finished product. This is the Brewers trying to tell me to try stuff out, or the Brewers, hey, let's do this. So I mean, I could probably count on 2 hands the amount of strikeouts I've had that I come back in and they're like, hey, man, you took the right pitches. You swung at the right pitches. You stuck to the approach. Like, that's a good at-bat. We're good with that. Where there's also been times where like, hey, I hit a homer on a pitch that's up and out of the zone. And like they're not going to tell me that's a bad at bat, but that might have been outside my approach. So like for them, like they're not really worried about the results now. So I looking at like, all right, hey, this guy has X amount of homers, but he's striking out a ton. I don't know that I've looked at my strikeout percentage once other than like, a family friend or someone texting me like, hey, let's cut out the punch outs, because they're trying to like, they care and whatever. So, but like for me, it's like, all right, cool. Well, what's the big deal? Twitter's not ranking me on their top 100 because they think I strike out too much or the swing and miss. It's like, all right, big deal. Like, I'm not really worried about that. I'm worried about today, where my feet are here and now. Like if we're in the SEC right now or ACC where these guys are win or lose this game, we're going to host a regional or host a super regional or not make the postseason or whatever that looks like. Those approaches change. Like these coaches will tell you here, if you ask them, they're on this call, like they care about winning, yes, but in the minor leagues, they care about the development of players. So for me, like, all right, I might be swinging and missing at pitches at, the top of the zone or whatever that looks like. But maybe they're telling me, hey, we want you to try to hit those pitches at the top of the zone because we want to know when it's game on in October and you get a chance in the big leagues, where the line is that like, hey, if I swing at this pitch, I can get to that. If I swing at this pitch, I can't get to that. So I need to know before 2 strikes or with 2 strikes, when the chips are on the table, what can you get to, what can't you get to? And there is no like hidden hole that you don't know about by the time you get there. So a long roundabout way saying, I'm not too worried about like my strikeout rate or anything like that. Like the zones here aren't great. Like 60% of the looking case here, I'm going to challenge it and it's going to get overturned anyways. These minor league umpires are young kids. They're working as well. So they're trying to prove themselves. And I totally understand there's no ABS down here. So there's long games, long days here at the ballpark. Like they can't always do that. So I think eventually you move up in the levels, the umpires get better. The approach changes from like development to like compete to win. And I think the numbers change.
Stud, bro. And that stems from your mom and dad, Bryon. Your dad, man, we're laughing. We're looking for your card. When the cards came out, he's texting me all the cards he's got of you. And then, Scotty, you'll like this. The one card says pork roll, egg and cheese under his autograph. It's going for about $3,000 right now on eBay. I'm like, oh, I would love to just buy that card because, only people in New Jersey would understand that. I thought that was fantastic. But, from Mark Montanaro, our guy, and your mom and dad, you were raised right, and you've been fantastic, bro. We're going to love watching you on this journey. We appreciate you coming on. And, I appreciate that on Halloween. Remember that?
Yeah, Halloween got the makeup face on or whatever it was, but the Frazier jersey, it's good.
Yeah, it's perfect. That's what I used to do with baseball, split them in between, make them bleed. No, I'm kidding. But at the end of the day, man, we're rooting for you. Thanks for coming on, and sky's the limit, bro. I'll see you in the off season, all right?
Sounds great. I'm excited. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you. You were great. Appreciate you. Talk soon.
See you guys.
All right, people. Let's chat. Todd Father, get in here. There he is.
There you go.
Let's talk about the games tonight and the series coming up this weekend. We got some good ones. SeatGeek's helping us out because they have a code that you can use for 10% off of your MLB tickets. Let's begin with the first place Chicago White Sox facing off against Tarik Skubal and the Tigers. Are we in countdown mode now, Kratz? Is this countdown mode to how many starts Tarik Skubal has left in his Tigers career?
Yes, definitely. Okay. Yes. This is the next 3.5 weeks, because that pushes us right to the All-Star break. I think he gets 4 to 5 starts during that time. I don't think it really matters how he does, unless he somehow goes back on the IL. I think it's inevitable. Tigers can't hit enough to get him back in it. So yeah, I'm watching every Tigers series, every Skubal start.
Skubal dooble doo. Listen, I don't know why I did that. I just thought it was funny.
I don't either.
That's what you would say if you walked into your clubhouse. And
exactly.
Everyone else would be like, let's go. And Todd would be coming up with a little
little shaggy. No, but listen, just think of this, and I know I'm biased. Just thinking of the 3-headed left-handed monsters. the Yankees could have with Fried, with Rodon, and with him.
Nope.
Oh my God.
Nope.
God.
And people
Not
will
gonna
say it's
happen.
unfair. It's unfair. The Yankees haven't won a World Series title since 2009. It's not like they won
Garrett Cole,
yesterday.
Cam Schlittler, excuse me. Oh my God. That would be the best starting 5 in baseball. You could put Will Warren in the bullpen.
They won't do it.
Why not? Who says so?
Unless Max Fried's not coming back and they think Rodon's not playoff ready, they won't do it. That's it. They won't do it.
Nationals have won a World Series more recently than the Yankees.
Royals.
The
Cardinals.
Royals, Cardinals, Cubs, Rangers. This would be a good time to push your chips in. If Judge is healthy, we'll see how that looks too.
Yes.
For the Yankees. And hey, Todd Father is biased. He's on Yes Network. He watches the Yankees quite a bit, but there are many other teams that will be in play for Scooby-Doo. Any other big matchups?
Just talking out loud. Just talking out loud.
As you should. Any other big matchups that we're excited about that we'd like to grab a ticket for this weekend that are piquing interest for anyone, both from a pitcher performance situation or a starting pitching probable situation or just a good series? Like for me, I think this is the easiest one to point to. Brewers and Braves in Atlanta. Miz is pitching in this opener of this one. 1 week ago from today, the Miz was pitching in a game where he delivered a Maddox 15 punch-out, 1 hit, one of the best pitching performances in a regular season game I've ever seen, that anyone has ever seen, I hope. It was that next level insane. To punch that many tickets that efficiently is so difficult to do, and he was able to do it. So we get to see the follow-up, and he got a little extra rest in between, which I think makes sense, right, Kratz? It's the preservation here of Miz. So it's been 1 week since he started, and he's going up against a good team, good offense.
I feel like I'm not saying pitchers turn it up for certain teams. I feel like he gets it. He gets it. That was a first place, a playoff contending team in the Phillies. Dialed it up. I don't think the Phillies offense is very good. The Braves are a first place team, and he's like, wait a minute, like I'm a first place type of pitcher. This is the game I want. He's going to feel good. I'm interested to see. I don't know what's going to happen, but if I were to bet on something, I would bet on the Miz because of what he's doing. My Saturday matchup, Yamamoto's going for the Dodgers. I get it. They're playing the Orioles. But the Orioles, they have a chance. They have a chance to strike here in the American League, and there's no better test. I'm not saying they need to sweep the Dodgers. I'm saying there's no better test than to say, okay, we are either suspects or we're prospects here, and we have a chance or we don't.
Yamamoto's coming off a big boy outing too, Todd Father. He was trying to take a little perfecto and then a no-no, and it got broken up late.
It did. Mookie Betts made the error to make it a no-hitter and then the home run. No, it's so hard to get one of those, but yes, he's been great, been fun to watch. But for me, played for both these teams, the Reds and the Yankees. I'm really excited about this game. I got to be honest with you.
What's the best matchup? I mean, tonight, Lauder's been pretty good. I mean, he was really hot to start the year and then fell back a little bit. I think his ERA is in like the low to mid 4s. So he's been more back end in terms of run prevention. Schlittler is amazing. City is a vibe right now too, coming off the parade. There's a bunch of people in there today that were like, yeah, I couldn't touch the parade because I wasn't on the street at 2 a.m. for a parade that started the next day. Or the next, whatever, many hours later. It was one of those.
Todd, do you think Schlittler needs to kind of reassert himself here? I get it. He's still leading the league in ERA and all that stuff. He's doing incredible. But if you're talking about like starter for the All-Star game, Cy Young, like push himself to the side, do you feel like this is a good game for him to reassert himself?
I do. I do. And I think, honestly, with the offense that they have and with the injuries that they have, going out and putting a shutout 6-7 innings will be fantastic because I don't think there's going to be many runs scored. So for me, him going out and putting up a 0 or maybe give up 1 run through 6 or 7, hopefully 8, I think it just solidifies where he needs to be in the All-Star game. Yes. I think we'll be fine.
All right, so you got plenty to choose from here. That's your little weekend preview thanks to SeatGeek. Territory 10, 10% off tickets on SeatGeek. That's the code for you. Again, TERRITORY10. Click the link in the description of this episode. That'll download the app. If you don't already have it, you should. Code will get automatically added to your account so you can use it later or today for a weekend matchup. And I am being told that we have Mr. Rowdy Tellez a minute away from joining us, so we're not going to go anywhere else. We can stay here for a moment, and then we'll get ready for Rowdy.
Oh, it's going to get rowdy. We're ready for Rowdy. First base, Rowdy. Not outfielder Rowdy.
The AJ Rowdy dynamic is interesting, and it's not happening today. So we're going to see what the conversations look like without Mr. Przinski. Two guys that like to talk shit, but one's out right now. So this is like a little bit more of a friendly conversation.
Kratz is going to be the one that gets smacked on.
No, I mean that's fine if he wants to, but
he gets deferred. He's getting deferred.
That's fine.
Gets deferred to Kratz if AJ's out.
Yes.
Is that where it goes? Okay. Brewers legend, Rowdy Tellez. Rangers legend, Rowdy Tellez. Pittsburgh legend, Rowdy Perez.
It's a
Rowdy Perez.
All right, run the animation. What an intro by Mr. Kratz. Here is Rowdy Tellez on the field reporting live. Who do we have here? Hey, what's up?
That was Christian.
We got some buddies.
Oh, what's up? Yeah, that was
What's
Christian.
up, Kelly?
MVP.
Take him out to
The
dinner
MVP.
one time. Take him out to dinner.
They got in later. I would have. So don't be jealous, dude. Okay.
No. I'm saying he should take you out to dinner.
Oh, he always does. I haven't paid one time. That's an MVP.
That's an MVP.
You know what's crazy? My career earnings look like half a year's salary to that guy. That's just wild.
That's true. That adds
That's
up.
incredible.
Right. And that means you never pay for dinner. So you're seeing
or
this
breakfast.
Is fun. You got a little no breakfast, no nothing, no drinks, no anything. So you got a little reunion going on right now. But first off, let's start with ATL. How is it, and how did it all go down for you? We haven't talked to you since you joined up.
It's hot here today. It's warm. I'm sweating. I'm in a long sleeve, trying to lose some weight the old-fashioned
Like hot
way.
yoga class?
Yeah. But it's good. It's been good. You know, class act organization. You know, it's been really nice here actually. So it's a great group of guys. First place. You know, not a bad time to join when your club's in first place. So, but it's awesome. You know, like I said, the guys are awesome. Clubhouse is awesome. Everybody gets along. You know, it's a great team. You know, I'm really excited to be a part of it.
Was that part of the reason you signed with the Braves organization, knowing obviously in the big leagues they have Matt Olson, like who plays every single day?
Yeah, I mean, that was part of it, but also it was the only offer I had. So I kind of wanted to get out there and play and you know, show that I can still play. So you know, they gave me an opportunity to go out and give me everyday at bats, and you know, and when the time came to be called up, you know, hopefully just being ready every at bat and just impacting the team in any way I can in a positive manner. So again, like you said, you have Matt Olson's played 19,000 games in a row. He's, I mean, got to be close to 900 in a row at first, and one of the best in the game, if not the best. You know, at first defensively, I can see why he wants to play every day. You know, it's a treat to be over there with him.
Wait, what? Like, how on earth did you only get one offer? How is that possible? Like, what were you being told?
Nothing really. Teams were just saying like I didn't fit in, and they didn't have a spot for me, and you know, like it was just that was kind of what I was hearing. You know, like it was just one of those things that I was kind of caught off guard too. But it was something that you kind of got to deal with and learn from, and just the way it is. You know, the old saying, if you don't like it, play better.
Yeah, but I mean, how much better? Like, do you feel like you're at that status now where you were brought over to some teams where it's like, hey, good veteran presence, guy with 30 plus homers in the show, and now you're just old? Like all of a sudden that happened in what, like 4 months?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I felt like I put together a pretty decent year considering being able to
Yeah.
come off the bench, being able to do certain things. Only 280 at bats with 17 homers or something like that. You know, I was kind of in the same boat as your mindset right now. As I thought I was going to have a chance to go somewhere and impact, but no, that's not what happened. And now we're in this situation, and I'm happy to be here and happy to impact this team and be a part of a winning ball club.
All right, so you were a Gwinnett stripper. I know it's the Stripers, but every time I saw them, it looks like strippers.
I'm right there with you. That's what I call this.
Does that help you in the sense of being a veteran guy? Does that say, okay, the AAA team is now like uber close? Like you probably could have taken an Uber from Gwinnett when they called you up to make your decision when they do call you up to the big leagues. Okay, you know, we have that close proximity.
Yeah, I mean, it was nice. Like that was a definitely thing. Like I live in the middle. I actually live closer to Truist than I did Gwinnett. But it was nice to be here, and that was a good group of guys down there. Great staff too. Like that whole team down there in Gwinnett had all played in the big leagues before, so that was pretty crazy. We're probably the oldest team in AAA. Like we had Sandy Leon was down there opening day with us, and like in the beginning, 10 years. You had Cookie Carrasco, Carlos Carrasco, 85 years in the show. I mean, probably debuted with Todd.
Yeah, we did.
Like, you know, and we had Ben Gamble, me. Like we're all kind of like we had an older team in general, so it was like very. And it wasn't a salty old team. It was a great. I mean, they were really good down there, but it was like being able to play, and I was just happy to play and happy to be. The organization's great, treated us so well. You know, so you can't really complain about anything.
Well, listen, you had an article about you in Milwaukee today. I got to be honest with you. You don't really see this too often. And kudos to you, how good of a person and ball player you are and will be. They loved you in Milwaukee. How does it feel to have your own article about the team that you don't even play for anymore with?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have social media, so I don't see a ton of things. But you know, like it was a great time when I got traded over there from Toronto. Like it was awesome. You know, into the playoffs every year. Had some of the better years of my career. Great group of guys. Still stay in contact with a lot of them. Giants were just here, so I talked to Willie for I don't know, an hour. Like you know, I stay in touch with a lot of those guys. So it's special to, you know, to be loved everywhere I go, and I think that's something that I take pride in too. Is like no matter where you go, like it's not hard to be a good person. It's not hard to be a good teammate, whether it's going good or bad. You know, like I just think there's a lot harder things in life that you're going to deal with than a day-to-day routine of being a major leaguer. You know, so I think if that's the hardest thing I have to deal with, you know, being in the minor leagues or being mad about certain at bats, then you know that's not a bad thing at all. That's really a first world problem. So I think for me, it's just being the same guy day in and day out, having fun, messing around. What you guys see on the show is what you see away from with the team, with everybody. I mean, I guess probably the rep I have now kind of just like to laugh, like to mess around, get to first, talk to me. You know, I always talk, big talker. So I think it does. But the answer, like, that's pretty cool. It's pretty special to have something like that.
Is that why they put you at first and moved Matt Olson out to right field? Because you're a big talker, and if you went out to right field, you'd be so distracted talking in the chop house people?
I don't. Well, I heard they called the grounds crew, and they said they didn't want any divots if I had to go run after everything. That's a lot of work. We had an Ella Langley concert, so there's a couple in center, and they were like, we don't need any right. But no, they came down there, and they were like, hey, you ever played outfield? I said, yeah. And they're like, where? I was like, the creative player in MLB The Show. Like, I put myself out there. But other than that, no. And they were like, all right, we'll grab Maddie's third base glove. And I'm like, oh, okay. So me and Sean Murphy are down there. And we're just talking. And Murph goes, I'm pretty sure Ole's played right field in the show. And I was like, he has. Never mind, he has. So we told them, they were like, Ole's actually played big leagues. Like played outfield in the big leagues. They were okay. So they put him out there instead of third. And I was probably a better choice.
Would you have been panicked if you were out there? Because the last time I heard you were in the outfield, you filleted your finger on the fence.
Yeah, I'm a big no grass guy anymore. I don't go out there.
No.
Actually,
Okay,
I lied. I went out there. I went out there first home game here to shag fly balls, but I did not move. I was like concreted in the ground. If it made it to me, it made it to me, but I wasn't running. Like, well, we were going to full panic and do that again.
You're going to keep the ball in front, and you're going to just
we're not going to go.
Happens.
We're not going to the wall and feeling around and trying to throw people out at home. BP, like, we're just not going to do that anymore. That's like 29-year-old me, like 28-year-old me, not 31. You know.
You used to have a really good arm. Do you still have a really good arm? Or are you just throwing ground balls to shortstop and second base and third base right now?
It's still there. It's probably not as good as when I was younger, but it's still there. When I need to let it go, like, I'll let it go. But, you know, those plays are far and few in between. I did hit George Springer, though, the last time I pitched. That was on purpose.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
You were getting back.
him.
You were getting back
It was
for
like
2017? Is that what it was?
No, it was more of just the 2021 time when he would talk a little smack to me, and I was like, "Hey, dude, I'm gonna get some payback." So I hit him. Everything I had in the tank was like 61 left to bruise. Pretty pumped about that.
left some laces. Hey,
careful, you're not allowed to admit that.
No, he'll get fined. He'll get fined. Did you see the new proposals that Major League Baseball is talking about, cutting the draft down even farther, cutting high school kids out of the draft?
Yeah, we were talking about that in the clubhouse with Strider. My locker's not too far from us, so he's our rep, and we were listening to it. He basically came up he said it, and I was like, you know what's crazy? I was like, I wouldn't have been drafted. I was a high school kid in the 30th round. I was like, so like for me, like not being gone kind of sucks. You look at guys that like Lorenzo Cain made, had a really, really good career. He would have not been drafted. Like you take away these players that, don't have the chance or don't have the opportunity to go to college or even make money. You never know what situation they come from, and $100,000 can mean the world to them. But I just don't understand. Like, there's been so many great players that have came out low in the draft, high school players. Like, I just don't understand it. And I get that NIL is a thing, but like, you take a high school kid and give him $500,000. Who says he's going to make $500,000 in college in years, or who says he's going to be healthy in college? Maybe he gets hurt, and like, God forbid he gets hurt and has a career-ending injury in college. Like, you never get a chance to make that kind of money. So and like, I can't speak on going to college, but I would feel like maybe pro ball has a little bit more understanding and some better teachers to get you ready to get to the big leagues than a college would.
Right. Obviously, this was proposed. It's not gone. It's just a proposal.
No. But like that's our argument. Like that would be my argument.
Sure. Do you hear the same things from other guys in the clubhouse? Like, what's the pulse that you're hearing from the guys based on just the initial proposal by Major League Baseball?
I would say the guys are probably feeling the same way. Even college guys, like Stride even said it. He was like, I was a guy that needed to go to college. I went to college, and he was like, I came out and was in the big leagues in a year. Like, he was like, everybody's different. Everybody's career path's different, but you can't try and take away a chance to get to the big leagues because we need to do things differently, or like the high school route, like forcing kids to go to college. Like, it's never been a thing. Like, you look at some of the greatest players ever, like, they didn't go to college. They came out of high school.
Yeah, 100%.
Can you imagine like 4 or 5 less years of Mike Trout for the game, what that would have done to the game?
It would cost the
guys
team less money.
Superstar Bryce Harper. Yeah, that's like, still think of.
We got a little.
I don't
chunky.
know. For me, I wasn't a. Oh, sorry. I wasn't a college guy, so
I think you're back. Go ahead.
I wasn't a college guy, so for me, it was just what it was.
How would you have done in college?
Probably terrible. Not very. I wasn't very coachable. Young Rowdy was not very coachable.
What about going to class?
Probably not that too. I'd have been a mainstay in the cafeteria though.
Free food. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, some
USC
schools,
had some good food in LA.
Yeah, and you would have had to go to the school where they're like, we actually don't care if you even go.
Yeah.
Which is increasingly more and more of those these days because you're basically.
Yeah, they were like, hey, we're going to give you a tutor. And I was like, well, we'll just give him my name too. Then he can just go to class.
And that is why some need to just go from high school to the pros. Last one for you, Rowdy, on my side. What do you think of the Miz blossoming these days?
So again, like I don't have a ton of social media, so what I see goes on in the clubhouse, and I don't really follow a ton. But we're actually going to face him today, so this will be my first time ever seeing him pitch. I think he was drafted in 23, maybe 22, so I never really saw him when I was here. But I mean, like you hear about it, and it's the next coming. So like I'm excited to see what it's got. I mean, I'm confident we're going to win, but. Everybody can give up runs, but yeah, I've heard it's impressive.
Wait.
When you got Chris Sale talking about it, like a future Hall of Famer, first ballot, like it's probably pretty good.
Yeah, but Chris Sale doesn't have to face him. You're telling me you haven't seen Jacob Misiorowski pitch?
No, I have. I just said in the clubhouse. Like when they talk about it on TV, like when it's on TV and they're showing his replays. Like it's impressive.
Okay.
I'm not saying I haven't seen it.
Okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, I feel like you're not giving us the whole story here. Do you have him queued up on the traject machine pregame?
I will, because I'm going to be coming into pinch hit at some point, so I will have the traject going. If it's against him, I'll probably scoot further back, like 80 feet, and give myself some time to react.
I like that plan.
What will you look for? What will you look for? First pitch.
Dude, I can't say. They're probably watching it in the clubhouse. You're just trying to set me up for failure, dude.
Yeah. Don't tell him.
Yeah, but then they're going to think that's what you're looking for. And then they're going to be like, no, he's a really smart hitter who has 30-plus pumps in the show in 1 year. So he's actually going to be not sitting on that, but he's going to be double down sitting. So what are you going to sit on? What pitch are you going to sit on?
Fastball, bro. What do you think he's going to sit on?
Yes!
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard to not. It's going to be hard to try and hit every other pitch when you can't hit 104. So,
Rowdy, just sit on a breaking ball the whole time and see how that works out for you. Go ahead.
No.
Thank God they have nets in the stands. I'd probably just slice one right over the dugout. If that was the case.
First base, third base dugout.
Yeah. Tell Murph to watch his lips over there.
That's true. Yeah. Hey, Murph's about to get a big surgery, by the way. He's going to get a hip replacement and all that. So be careful when you say hi to Murph. A big bear hug.
Titanium.
I might try and chase him around, see if he can get away. See if he's faster than me still.
Not anymore. All right. Well, go do your thing, man. Big game, big series coming up. Awesome to see you on the Bravos. And thanks for stopping by, dude. Great to catch up.
All right. We'll see you guys. Thanks for having me.
See ya. Appreciate you always, Rowdy. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
All right, let's hit a couple minutes of injury suck. Mike Trout to the injured list, announced yesterday with Sam Blum and Ken Rosenthal. It's a hamstring injury. And then I saw the sound. He was very positive, Todd Father. I mean, he said already like a day later, he felt significantly better. They're still going to be careful, of course. Rhett Bollinger posting that Mike Trout said he injured it. Running to first base in the 8th inning. It's the right hamstring. Already feels much better than yesterday. He's hopeful it'll be a short stint on the injured list, but no timeline. And people were really looking forward to seeing Trout back at the All-Star game, Todd. And this doesn't eliminate that, right? We're still about a month away, but it makes it tougher to pull that off depending on the timeline here.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it funny that him and Grisham of the Yankees both had hamstrings injuries, and they said both the next day that they felt better already. I wish that can happen to me when I get injuries. So it's like hamstrings are very particular. You got to be very careful with it. I hope both of them are right in saying that, and they come back in the 15 days or whatever it is, the minimum. This stinks because he was having a good year. You know, the Angels aren't doing so well, but it was great to see him play a lot. And they were moving him around to make sure he could play a lot and get a DH here and there. But Yeah, it makes you sad because people love him. People want to see him play, and right now they're not going to see him play for a couple weeks. So hopefully, it's just a little bit is something that he can either play through or heal up quickly, and we can get him back on the field because that would be awesome for him to play in Philadelphia in front of pretty much everybody that he lives by, which is within a half-hour radius, would be really nice.
They don't even have enough tickets allotted for half of South Jersey to make it to the All-Star game in Philly. It's a home game for Todd Father's good buddy. But now, like, it really seems like his mannerisms when he was talking about it were different than his other injuries. So it was good to see that. It seems very positive. Other times it was more like, this one seems like, okay, I think I'll be fine. Maybe I need a little bit more than 10 days. That's what I'm hoping for because he's having a great year. I think he's leading the league in runs scored this year.
Crazy.
He's been great. Trout's been great. And I know we talk about it all the time, but it just would have been cool to see if something can get pulled off to ship him elsewhere. I mean, he's getting deep into the career. Like, it's true. You just want to see him play on a spot that's got a playoff chance. It's no knock on anything. It's the facts. But this will probably prevent that. That's the thing. I mean, the chances were already super slim, but we can essentially eliminate that. No, you don't think so? I mean, He's going to miss some time here. It's going to make it very difficult for a team to pick him up at the deadline here. I know it's already complicated with the no trade and with the money and with Artie Moreno wanting to sell tickets and all of that, but there was at least a slight sliver that it could happen, and now it's close to nothing unless he's back in a couple weeks or less. And maybe it's a minimum stint. I don't know off the top of my head, guys, but Hammy, you're usually looking at least a few weeks, no?
I'd say so. It's one of those. Even if it's the slightest, what grade 1, 2, or 3. If it's like a low 1, I still think, or whatever. I still think you need at least a couple of weeks to simmer it down with ice and stim and massage, therapy, all that kind of stuff. And then you got to ramp it up to get back in game shape. 2 weeks, 15, how many days he's going to take off before running,
Yeah, and it's one of those injuries where you can come back early and then it becomes more of a problem. So you just got to be careful with Trouty and what's gone on there. I mean, hey, I don't know if this was the case, but
yeah. Would have been a good time for a home run derby for Mike Trout in Philadelphia, too. I don't know.
I agree. Now we're not going to get to see it. Yeah, it's a bummer. Yeah. I mean, Acuna's got the hammy barking right now, and he came back, and then now he's out for a while, and it's the same one there. So not that it's the same guy, but you got to be careful when you're coming back from those. There's a few. Hammy, calf is up there where it takes more time than you'd like it to take, even if it feels like it's okay. Next up, Adolis Garcia. Surgery officially done for the season. 6 to 8 months, expected to be ready for 2027. Now, Kratz, as far as hurting the team on the short term, it's not a killer. He was not hitting. He plays a really nice outfield. He's got a good arm. Maybe he would find fire, but this is not the 2023 monster with the Rangers that was helping lead them to a World Series. So, like, awful for the player. For the team, the Phillies are going to get 1 or 2 outfielders anyway. Like, that's a thing on their list.
It's a little bit easier to replace his defense. While he was part of the reason that some of these starting pitchers had good ERAs. It's because you have outfielders who are keeping guys at first base, hosing them at second, getting the out at home. $10 million for him. I think like 18 for Nick. So they already got 28 million in right field that aren't going to play any more games this season. It'll be interesting to see what they do and how they can replace it.
This stinks. Yeah, I love the guy. I played with him with the Rangers. Just fantastic human being, man. Smile always on his face. So gracious and happy to be on the field. Like you said, he's not there, but at the same time, he's a presence still. At the end of the day, you got to respect his game.
Remember, Adolis Garcia and Evan Carter, massive, massive parts of the 2023 World Series champion Texas Rangers. It's just crazy to look at those guys and then see what's been done since then. You haven't seen much from
Yeah.
Carter, unfortunately. He was a promising prospect, but he's gotten hurt a lot, and the productivity hasn't been there when he's playing. And then, Garcia's bat fell off pretty soon after that. Great dude, fun guy to watch. He's huge. He's got a big arm, right? Like, he's toolsy, and he took over the postseason at times.
You're saying that, like, they caught lightning in a bottle in Texas? Is that what you're saying? Maybe. Wait. No, wait. That doesn't sound like it's right. Like, they made a move for Jordan Montgomery. Wait a minute. So they still won a World Series championship,
and
so
Chapman.
we shouldn't try that.
Or Aldis Chapman too. Well, no. You know what? This goes back to our conversation with Ken Rosenthal, where he's got teams saying that if they get a bye, then they're more likely to trade for Skubal. It's funny. Remember the first year or two of the bye, teams were like, oh, I don't know, it might actually hurt us. Now it's like, well, our percentage chances do increase. And if we don't have a likelihood of a bye, then we're not as interested in Skubal. I'm like, but you could win the World Series as a wild card. You also need to get to the playoffs. And
Yes.
I don't know, Tarik Skubal for August and September, winning you a few extra games could be the difference. So I hope just for that, I hope a team like the Orioles trades for him. Some team that's like on a fringe wild card situation. Obviously, it would risk that he doesn't pitch in the playoffs, but I hope they do, and he freaking shoves, and then they make it to the playoffs, and then you get to say, you know what, that actually helped you get to the playoffs, which is a huge difference, and then move on. And that could also save the job for a GM, right? And specifically, if we're using this example for Baltimore, like, they missed the playoffs last year. You missed the playoffs again. Questions pop up. So
I've never seen anybody have a successful season and people are like, "Nah, we're done with that. That wasn't a good move to get Skubal and take us to Game 6 of the World Series. Dumb idea. We should never continue to hire you."
Well, it's the same thing that, Jed Hoyer's done a nice job, but it bothers me to publicly say, like, we're not going to go hard unless we have like a bye. Like, what? And hey, I get it. The Cubs are not playing great ball, but it's a loser mentality. I don't like the way that that's described. You want to push your players and say, hey, we're not going to do as much as you think if our players don't put it together. But the bye week percentage stuff, to me, that gets back to like the 54% stuff with the Mariners days back, and they eventually learned that that's stupid and we should just acquire guys like Naylor. And look, they were 5 seconds from, or one bad decision late in the game to not use their closer from maybe being in the World Series last year. So
it's a sheep mentality. They're just going along with the whole crowd. Oh, bah, bah. And then somebody comes along and is like, "Nah, I'm the big bad wolf. I'm gonna kill all these fools because they're all look the same."
Dombrowski did that in many different stops, being like, "You guys are soft. You're not going hard enough. See ya."
Preller.
Yeah. Eventually, if you save up all your money, you die and then you don't use it. I know that's morbid, but happy Friday. Let's hit Hot Corner. Podfather, 'tis the season. We talk trades, and that means media asks players about trades. So Dan Hayes posted this. He's a fantastic host. Hold this up for a moment on Twin Cities territory. And for the trade talk, Bryon Buxton was asked. He said, quote, "I don't give a fuck. I ain't said nothing about leaving, nor will I. I'm a Twin."
What you talking about?
He's basically saying,
letting it be known.
I'm not trying to go. But the thing that I do want to get more out of Bryon is, you're not requesting a trade. You like where you're at, but you do have a no trade clause. So you do control your own destiny. And what I want to know is, push comes to shove, if the Twins are 6.5, 7 games out of a playoff spot come trade deadline, and the Twins are getting some offers for a guy who's one of the top players in the sport right now, quietly, would you say yes? That's what everyone wants to know. We want to know because we want to know. Are we talking about him? Because he could come out and just say, I have it. He's done this in the past, but he didn't do it yet. I have a no trade clause. Under no circumstances will I waive it. He has not said that.
Well, I mean, as brass of the Twins, they're gonna if somebody comes to him, they're definitely going to ask him, hey, this is what we got. What do you think? And every trade that they're trying to get done. But maybe he loves it there. Like, listen, there's two different sides. Maybe he's saying this knowing and letting everybody know that he wants to be a Twin for life. Or maybe he's saying that so he doesn't get in trouble. And then eventually when something comes, he's like, well, now the trade has come and I'm going to waive my no trade clause. Yeah, it's an opportunity to go to a team, a contending team. I wouldn't just go just for a team that's not contending. So, if one team is a beast of a team and he knows, sometimes, guys, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Let's put it that way. So for him, he has to really, sit down, talk with his team and go over that once something does come along the way. And we'll see what he wants to do.
I don't think the Twins are going to trade him because I like to study ownership and quotes. There is a new control person this year. It's one of the other poll ads. And he basically said, we've been in damage control, reputation shot. Like, he has admitted that. And I think it's one thing to trade a guy like Ryan Jeffers, who's going to be a free agent, or Joe Ryan, who's a year and a half away. Buxton's your core. He's your franchise player. And he's playing like that. That would be like a real dagger right into the city. And I think it even hurts your franchise value, right? I think fans would protest even more. Some I know aren't showing up now, but there would be way more. And the team's at least competitive. Derek Shelton, I think, is doing a fantastic job with, a team that's not been blessed with all kinds of buy-in moves. So for me, Kratz, I don't see it. The question I have, though, is for Byron. Do you want to be like Trout? It could be a thing. Are the Twins going to be good again? Maybe. But if you have an opportunity right now to go to a spot like Atlanta, and you're from the area and they're good and you're going to be in the playoffs probably most years because they're run really well, and this is your chance to do it, will you do it? And I think he owes that to the front office too on the other side. Like, they took care of him. You're on a big contract. If I'm trying to make trades, I want to know that I can actually do it, and then you're going to accept it. Don't make me do all the legwork, go to you, and then say, nah, just kidding.
My question is, how much does he look at other teams and say, wow, it'd be nice to play in October. I loved it when we played in October. I love the fact that now I've figured out how to keep myself healthy, which was kind of a thing with him and Royce, and they've kind of kept themselves healthy. They've been able to be on the field. And Bryon Buxton this year, like, if people haven't looked at his stats, he's doing it right now. And my question would be, he doesn't want to leave Minnesota. Why? Like, I get it. He's a Twin, and he's not waving his. He does live there. Absolutely.
That's why. You just asked why. He lives there. His family lives there.
I get Comfortable. It. But winters in Minnesota, that's a grind. Like, do you want to go home?
In the winter.
Okay. So now you're going home. So to me, I would just want to know. I get it. You don't want to be traded. You're not requesting a trade. But what is it about Minnesota that you love? And are you okay spending the next 3 or 4 years not winning?
It's a good question.
That's it. That's the only question.
The best comp is Trout, right? Super center fielder, long time, and Trout's legendary. I mean, Buxton doesn't have the pedigree, but right now, I mean, he's one of the top players in the sport. And Trout hasn't gotten to do that, your boy. And I know it you know what's funny? He's so, like, reserved in that way that he's going to look at the positives, Todd Father. But I know you have looked at him sometimes and been like, damn, doesn't it hurt you a little bit that Trout hasn't been in October more, especially, this year he's cranking again. And then, I mean, if we go through the prime years for that 5-6 year run, he was so stupid good, and we didn't get to see him in October, and we never have that in the NBA. So that part hurt, right? He's in a big market for a team that paid him well, and they were trying, but they couldn't surround him with the right talent, right? There's some dysfunction there, and that's what bothered me. Could we have seen Trout go somewhere else during that time period? I know it wasn't going to happen, but this is what relates to Buxton. Sometimes you wait around, and then maybe Buxton gets hurt at some point, and then it's tougher to trade the contract again, blah, blah, blah. Like, this is the time. Teams want him.
Agreed. And not to harp on it more, but yeah, we want to see these guys in the playoffs. Kratzy, what do you got?
I mean, I would just say it's different than Trout because Buxton just had some, like a year and a half before this season. Now he's working basically 2 years of health. And he watched his ownership, not the GM, ownership, just absolutely gut his team last year. This is his team. No qualms about it. Gutted his team. Mike Trout has just been like, man, you know what? This is going to be a year. I know Noah Syndergaard's going to be a great pitcher. I know we've moved Reed Detmers from the bullpen to the rotation, no hitter, back to the bullpen, now back to the rotation. Okay, I believe in it. Like, it's different every year. It's like, okay, he believes in this team. Bryon Buxton, this time last year, had no idea they were going to decimate this bullpen. No way he knew that. And to me, his other comments before were at the All-Star game before they were like, oh yeah, we're gonna trade 9 of our guys. Not really for that much, but just to like get them off the books. Oh, our controllable closer, yeah, we'll get rid of him too. Ooh, another controllable guy, Griffin Jacks, he gone. The Rays want him and they love pitching, so of course he's legit. Like, it's a different situation.
Good combo. I like it. This is where the player perspective is interesting. All right, let's hit Leo. It was a 2-man show yesterday, and they were fantastic. The FT parlay hit yet again. AJ, bingo. And look at Kratz at a plus 145 piece with the Mariners run line, getting a banger. Updated money bags. It's been a really, really nice first half for the people. Pap has a pick, but let's first go to Todd Father.
Yes. I just lost the train of thought. No, Tigers, White Sox under 8 at even money. I'm going big here. 500 to win 500. Even money. Scoob's on the mound. Scooby-Doo will do. And we're going to see a low scoring game.
Boom. Easy. EK.
Ruby Roo. I'm clicking in, Todd, so I'm making our parlay so I can get to my Ruby Roo. I got the Rays and the Nats. They gave me the Nats at 8 runs, so I'm taking the over, even money, plus 100. Like, I feel like the Nats figure out ways to win. I know it. It's Cade Cavalli, decent little pitcher. He's having a good year versus Griffin Jacks. I still like the over. The Nats hit the over.
What about Parlay Pap on a Friday?
FT Nation, what's up? It's your boy Parlay Pap coming to you on this beautiful day in Boston on a Friday. We got to get that weekend cheese, baby. So here we go. I got the Dodgers and the Tampa Bay Rays in a 2-game and a 2-legger parlay. We're going to get plus 161. We're putting 200 on it, and we're going to get that weekend cheese, and we're going to use that cheese to be drinking with all the Scottish here in Boston, baby. I can't hang with them, so I need you boys to come to Boston and help me out. I'm out. Let's get it.
Pap, I saw you have 10 espressos the other day on the broadcast. And also, I mean, the Scots are going to be the highlight of the 2026 Red Sox season. It's a joke, but it's also true. Locks of the day, I got the Yanks run line. City's buzzing right now after the Knicks parade yesterday. Cam Schlittler on the mound, Router on the other side. And the Reds aren't playing as well lately. Ellie's back, I think, next week. De La Cruz is the last name. Yankees are playing really well without Judge. So add all that up, I think they win by 2 or more. It's at minus 130. We got one more pick. Kratz.
Yeah. This is actually AJ's pick, the total corners. I'm taking America money line, and I'm parlaying it with total number of shots under 22.5. U.S. is looking to possess the ball and dominate a team that they should beat, but they can't just play kick and run. So they're going to have both teams have less shots on goal. So that's also paying me plus 170. But this here with the total corners is
it's also plus 170.
AJ.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're both plus 170. And BetMGM has a little special for you. Win a share of $500,000 in bonus bets every time the U.S. scores. You got to place within the BetMGM app, but it's the reason why you should be using that if you're placing some bets on World Cup action. A $5 or more pre-match bet on any World Cup game match in which the U.S. is playing. Apply your Goal Rush token. You get a share of $500,000 in bonus bets for every goal scored by the U.S. in the match. How many did they score in the first one? 3 or 4 goals, right?
4.
I think it was
4-1
4.
they won.
Yeah. So they gave out $2 million in bonus bets. That's a lot.
Wow,
Gambling problem more concern. No, what do you think?
No, Australia almost just made a goal. There was a nice save by the goalie. Sorry, it's on now.
It is on. It is on. And it just started. Gambling problem or concern, there's help. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And here's a little Tim Howard content for you to get excited. We're basically the World Cup pregame show today. We're done in a minute.
That looks like you.
That looks like me. I think it's time to let these people know who I am. Let's go.
This is you.
You think that's me?
Yes.
I think you're right. That's me.
What is you?
Let's go.
I told you. There's something happening.
Whoa.
Sorry I talk so much. Now can I get a selfie?
Yeah. Get a selfie.
You were the one that was in that game with the ton of saves, right?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Hard. You never want to save the ball 16 times.
Make it legendary.
Amazing.
All right, 2 on our way out, just a verbal mention. I mean, we talked about it with Ken for a moment, but Joey Bart traded from the Pirates to the Bravos. He wasn't getting much PT with Pittsburgh. I mean, he's not necessarily going to get much PT here either, but Drake Baldwin's pretty damn good, but they got to ease him back into things. So there it is. ATL designated Sandy Leon for assignment. And then cool one on our way out here, Todd father Trey Cruz making his MLB debut this weekend. His family will join the Boones, the Bells, the Colemans, and the Hairstons as only the 5th to have a grandfather, son, and grandson all play in the major
that's so
leagues.
cool.
Jose Cruz Jr. and Jose Cruz. You played, was Cruz still in the league, Cruz Jr., when you were playing?
I am not sure on that one. I think, I don't know.
I think so.
I mean, definitely for Kratz.
Whoa.
Sorry about it. I mean, it's 2008.
No care, Poppy.
No,
2008 was his last year.
2008. I saw him I definitely saw him. I mean, he was like one of the first ones to rock the or the ones that I remember to rock the like tight uni. He was like out there, uniform looked like it was just like sticking to him. But that's so
He was cool.
Grant, he was so cool. Gold Glover too. Rookie, didn't win Rookie of the Year. Second place Rookie of the Year.
Still cool,
just like
dude.
somebody else I know.
He had the name, he had the look, he had the numbers at a time period. Kratz hat's on the way out.
I mean, we talked about it. Why not? I feel like this is a team that with the pitching that they have, they should turn it around. They got to figure out how to score at home. I don't know what's wrong with Globe Life, but they got to get the different bats. Turn the humidor down or something. We need some more runs in Globe Life.
Nobody scores at Globe Life. That's the problem.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Oh, the Twins did the other night. But
right, but not consistently can you put runs up there. It'll help for maybe a trade deadline move or two. You would think they'll push in as their wild card hunter right now, but we'll see. We'll see what it looks like over the next few weeks. We're back on Monday. Stay safe. Happy Friday, everyone.